Hi, Noxolo. Thank you for joining us today. Please tell the community who you are.
Hi, Litemba and the EHS community. I'm Noxolo Msiya, better known as #environmentalist on LinkedIn or Noxy the environmentalist. I am an environmental scientist, a registered scientist. I'm an environmental specialist for Bidvest Tank Terminal. I have 7 years experience in the field, started off at Transnet Trade Rail. I hold a BSc Honours in environmental management. Currently undergoing my LLM in environmental law and also MDP, Management Development Program. I was born and bred in the township of Kwamashu, north of Durban, and I am 30 years old, a very bubbly, ambitious, career-driven individual, and also who loves the environment. So yeah, that's Knox.
I went on vacation. When was it? Last year, October.
Yeah,
Uh, we stayed when it was a mini vacation. It was like a weekend. It was very nice.
that's
Was
cool.
a person that grew up in PE next to the beach. It was
Uh,
refreshing, man.
But PE also, I really find the beach in PE much more beautiful than Durban because it's calm. There's no business, havoc.
Sure,
Because I'm used to
sure.
the
That's for sure.
craziness here in Durban. I would prefer PE anytime. uh,
But it's a very beautiful town.
uh,
If I was to settle anywhere else besides going back home, it
mm,
would definitely be there.
Durban. Yeah, Durban's cool. Yeah.
So, Nabolo, you told us that you were born and raised in Guam. Could you tell us a bit more about your upbringing?
Okay, so born in 1993 uh, by a teenage mother. My mom had me when she was 16 years old. She fell pregnant when she was 16 years old. So my grandparents, my maternal grandparents were like, no, she's too young. Let's raise this child as our own. Because when I was growing up, I always believed that my grandparents are my mom and dad, and my actual mother is my big sister. But I think when I stopped grade 3, grade 4, that's why I realized, no, no, man, this person is my mother. But growing up under the care of my grandparents, they were very strict. My dad was a cop at that time at the South African Police Force. My grandmother was a house. She was a housewife, so she raised six kids of her own, and including me, there was 7 of us. So I was raised in a very big family, very strict. Because my grandfather was quite strict. So when I was growing up, I was not allowed to go out of the yard, so that's why when I was growing up, kids will always tease me and say that I live at the Westville prison maximum security. So that kind of helped me in a way because I ended up not loving playing. I was always reading most of the time, literally. So I really found a passion or love for reading instead of playing because of that upbringing. Because in the area where I was raised, yeah, it's quite violent. There's a lot of crime, a lot of negatives. Where I think my grandfather was like, "No, I can't expose this young child to all of these things happening around this community. Let me just rather like keep her safe here and inside in the house, and then she'll be okay." So I was raised in that type of situation. But in the end, looking back now, I think being isolated from the people of Kwamashu in that household really helped me in a way, honestly, because I found love in my studies much more than friends or playing. So definitely what my grandfather did was, yeah, I thank him every day for that. And I have one niece. She's 4 years old, and I'm the legal guardian over her. So she's practically my child. So yeah, so currently I am the legal guardian over my niece.
Um, it's amazing how the experiences we grew up with, like your grandfather being strict, allowed you more time to actually spend with your books and get that focus.
Focus.
Because I know for me personally, growing up, my parents were divorced at a very young age. I think I was
Mm.
grade three, yes. So very young. We grew up with our mother. So my father mainly over weekends. And he was an alcoholic,
Mm.
being ambitious man. Um, I think that's where I also learned work alone is not enough, man. Ambition wise,
Uh,
I think in a nutshell,
Backup.
that's what he taught me. Then also grew up in the township, yes,
Mm.
the PE is rated, which is now famous for Sia, because
Yes.
that's where Sia Kolisi grew up.
I think our background does motivate us to become better. Honestly, yeah, definitely, it does give you that push to see yourself on another level, a better level. Yeah.
Yeah. Who was it that said you can have two kids
Mm.
that grow up in the same household,
Mm.
same parents, but one becomes a president, the other one decides to be a gang. So, Noxolo, tell us, back in your high school days, which career did you want to pursue and why?
So I matriculated in 2011 at Richburg College, a school in Overport City, near Overport in Durban. So back then, I was doing full science subjects, your maths, your physics, your uh, geography, and life science. So at that time, funny enough, I wanted to become a radiographer, radiologist. But then I was doing well in geography, much better than physics. So my geography teacher started exposing me to a lot of careers within the geography subjects. So and I grew much interest in that. Like, okay, I can actually become an environmental scientist or this or this. And then my love for radiology just fell off after that. So definitely matric, I was like, I'm gonna do environmental science because from grade 8 to grade 11, I was more focused on doing radiography, and then yeah, so the shift changed in 2011. Like, no, I'm doing well in this thing. Let me just further my studies in this thing and actually make a career out of it. So yeah, so all thanks to Miss Mitchell at Richpark College for fostering that love for geography because I was also doing well in it. So that's where I decided, no, I'm going to do environmental science in matric.
Cool. Because I saw, I think you had posted on LinkedIn a while back. I think you hosted matriculants,
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
yes.
Yeah.
So they came here, here in our offices. So they approached me and they said that I must speak about the different careers in environmental science, process safety, and health and safety. So I was honored to be selected because they usually select managers for that, not anyone. So I was able to do that to a group of very ambitious grade 12 students. So out of those, only two are eager to pursue the career in the environmental field. So I was very happy. I was very
Cool.
happy.
Which is great.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Which is great. Because unfortunately, one of the things about our career, like for me, for example, I had no clue what EHS was in my high school days. Because for me, there were two options: sports management. Somebody further told me, dude, there's no way. Like he saw it is those are not careers. Get a proper job, study something where you can actually pursue a proper career. But but then I kind of understood where he came from because I mean this man was born what in
Yeah,
1963.
like what is this boy talking
So
about?
their view of the world is completely different to
I was,
ours.
yes, true.
Yeah. So so a lot of kids in high school have no clue what we
Yeah,
do
true.
because you meet someone and they ask you what do you do? EHS, health and
Safety.
safety,
That
environmental management. They have no clue.
honestly, even with the group of students that we had here, they had no clue about us. Like, okay, even now in 2023, it's quite bad. I think the awareness needs
Yeah.
to be rolled out. Honestly,
So Nofono, tell us, what did you study at university?
for my undergrad, I did a BA Environmental Planning and Development at the University of Zululand, Ogoye, north of KZN. So it was a 3-year degree, which I obtained in 2015, which focuses on environmental management, geography, geomorphology, a bit of hydrology also. It's encompassed there, and also a bit of your development studies also because it's combination of both. So I did that and I graduated in 2015 at UZ, Zulu. And then in 2020, yeah, I started my honors, my BSc Honours in Environmental Management at UNISA. I did it part time though, so it took me 2 years, and I graduated in 2021, 2022, last year. Yes, I graduated last year. Besides that, the short courses that I've done over the years, I've done Shemtech, I've done Intro to Health Objects, Environmental Law at the Northwest University, EIA for practitioners, Women Leaders course at UCT, and currently I'm doing my MDP at Stellenbosch University and also LLM Environmental Law at UCT. So that's everything I've done. I think I've covered everything.
Yeah. Quite impressive. Quite impressive. So you concurrently doing your NDP and your LLM.
Yes, yes. So I had to take a bit of my modules out for this year because of the MDP. I'm like, so I had to decrease the modules that I'm doing this year. So hopefully next year I'll be done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Future plans after completing your LLM?
Definitely PhD. But I'm going back to science, not continuing with the law side. I'm going back to
Okay.
science side. So I'm definitely going back and do my PhD in environmental science.
Noxolo, can you take us back to your first role, which was at Cert.Sci.Nat as an environmental consultant? Can you just take us through that role? What were your duties and so on?
So I started at Charles Federal in 2016 as a young professional in training under the environmental department as an environmental consultant. So I was rotating amongst the three departments within the environmental department. So I started off with sustainability and programs where I was basically tracking all the environmental awareness and rolling them out for every environmental initiative we planned for our business units. For example, World Environment Day, Arbor Day, Water Week. So I will do write-ups for newsflash for corporates to roll out in the entire business unit. I will compile posters, also create awareness training packs for all the employees within Transnet. Nearly said PTT. And also, there was a point where I was also the administrator for the Energy Efficiency Committee, which comprised of TFR and also Rail Network chairperson. So there, I used to prepare presentation packs and also do meeting invites and also, yeah, just administrate the entire committee. And then I moved to EIA and EMS, where I was mentored by Dibo and Ms. Nong. So under that department, I would track all environmental permits for our projects, track all the environmental authorization conditions for that we have as a business, as TFR. And also I would track the top 10 strategic environmental risk register for the business. And the last few months, I moved to waste management and pollution by Miss Given Mlisi, also my mentor, because each and every department I had a mentor. So after a month, we will have a session and we'll talk of the challenges and wins that I had, and then they will advise me as my mentor. So under waste and pollution, where I was guided by Ms. Given Mlisi, I was reviewing the waste management plans for TFR, all the business units from your coal, your cab, and APL, and will manage the procurement side of uh, waste when it comes to the cost side for waste management. And I was facilitating the effluent monitoring for our business units. Yeah, so I did that. I was rotating. I mean, every month I would have a session with my mentors and then have that feedback session. So that also like guided me in a way if I was not in the right lane, I get pushed on the right side. So that really assisted me in terms of my career because I was able to differentiate the wrong things and the right things. And also in a corporate space, because I was very young that time, I was like 24, was still very young. So I needed that guidance from them. And it really assisted me. And also enforcing that love and passion for my work. And also getting recognition from them because I was nominated 3 times for customer service excellence, nominated by people within the business units. And yeah, I was nominated 3 times for that and also got an award from Rail Network for the work I've done for the Energy Efficiency Committee. So yeah.
That was quite an impressive start. That was a proper
Yeah, it
foundation.
was. It really guided me in the right way. Because when I moved to Bidvest, already I was set.
Because I've seen there are some, I don't want to say there's a lot, there's quite a few people that are starting off in our industry that are not willing to take internships,
Mm.
that feel like it's a waste. It's a waste
Mm.
of their time where they could actually start and be earning instead of going for an internship, which, like for yourself, gives you a proper foundation and gives you the necessary
You.
overview of what is required of a professional.
Mm.
Yeah, but then again, you know, in our country and this economy, it's quite difficult because you've got parents. Your parents sacrifice, they take you to university. Now you must go and take an internship and not immediately start contributing to the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's quite a difficult situation.
It is. It is. Really?
So I think it was last week, or I'm not sure when, you had posted that you recently spent or celebrated rather 5 years with Bidvest Tank Terminals.
Mm.
Could you take us through the roles you've had with the business to date?
So I started BTT in July 2018, 23rd. That's the date. I always remember that date very well. It was a Monday. So I started off as an environmental compliance officer where I was mostly plant based. I was conducting inspections every day, going top of the tanks. So I was overseeing the environmental side in terms of inspections, engaging stakeholders, external stakeholders, dealing with the workforce and interacting with them and giving awareness in terms of environmental issues, in terms of spill management, waste management, effluent management. So I was mainly on the plants. Yeah. And then in 2022, last year, September, I was offered a promotion to environmental specialist. So currently now I deal more with the procedural side of things, generating procedures and rolling them out to the SHE officers, engaging stakeholders, external stakeholders from your municipality, your Transnet, and customers. So now I'm more of the interaction with external than compared to before, where I was more site based. Now I'm more office based.
Could you please take us through a normal day in your current position as an environmental specialist?
Okay, so my day starts at 7, even though the contract says 8. It's a quarter past 4. So my day starts at 7. I get here very early. So after having my first cup of coffee, I just go on the legal register where I just look up any new environmental updates from DFFE. So I usually do that, look at that, read that in the morning, and then 9 o'clock there's a morning meeting, operations morning meeting. So I usually attend that from 9 to 10. After that, I usually have meetings with my senior, my boss. So we just review any issues maybe arising that we need to focus on. If there's no issues, most of the time I'm on site, just checking if the SHE files are in order. So I just go because we have 9 sites. So that takes like 2 to 3 hours on its own. So I go to each and every site, checking the SHE files, SHE files if they're in order. Other than that, I do my safety observations. So each and every person is tasked to do safety of the observations, I think twice a month. So I usually do that also, do my safety observations. If there are no observations to be done, I do my waste management inspections to verify everything that's on the sheet file is correct. So I do that, check my separators and pits, check my effluent meters if the sites are recording them, my water, check everything is recorded because our operations does the capturing for all of that. So most of the time I'm doing that. If I'm not doing that, I'm attending meetings. So I usually have the SHE committee meetings with Kaya, SHE committee meetings with Transnet, National Ports Authority, or the community of Blab, the forums. So I'm most of the time I'm attending those meetings, external meetings. So that's me uh, in the current role. And it can get hectic. It can get hectic, especially with the community meetings.
That is the one thing. So anyone that's looking for excitement, come into the
EHS.
EHS. I saw you also shared last
Mm.
week. You guys were doing a cleanup.
Yes, yeah, with TMPA at the harbor. But we were actually doing cleanup and commemorating World Environment Day and Oceans Day. So yeah, so we usually do those initiatives with the landlord, TMPA.
Coming up, a word from our sponsors. Keeping up with the specifics of the South African Occupational Health and Safety Act and the 2014 construction regulations is tough. Non-compliance may lead to severe consequences, from fines to halted operations. But what if there was a solution to simplify all of this for you? A way to effortlessly meet your client's EHS file requirements. Introducing December EHS. EHS files crafted to minimize your efforts and ensure your EHS compliance. Our files are compiled to meet your client's EHS specifications, setting you up for project success right from kickoff. From risk assessments to incident reporting, we've got you covered. With comprehensive documentation essential for any project. Choose December EHS, your partner in EHS compliance. Don't compromise. Ensure your team's safety and your project's success today. And now, back to you, December.
So one of the biggest challenges that people in our industry have that I've spoken to is getting management buy-in. Throughout your career, what have you found to be the best method that works for you in terms of getting this buy-in, both from management and from the employees?
Okay, from my experience and what I've seen in different organizations from Cert.Sci.Nat and also at BTT, is that communicating the importance of the EHS agenda or the environmental agenda is very crucial, and also detailing why we need to do these things. So at first, you're starting by communicating the importance. So during your meetings, during your SHE committee meetings, that's definitely the platform. You communicate them clearly explaining why we need this EHS agenda or the environmental agenda for the well-being of the employees, the environment, and also for the overall success of the organization. But also highlight the benefits that the organization might benefit from this. Because I think also pointing out the benefits and all such as improved productivity, reputation, enhanced reputation will definitely lure in management. Because for me, that always worked. Like being environmental stewardship, being environmental compliant, also the reputation on its own will bring in more clients. So that also kind of like lures in management. Secondly, educate and train people. Rolling out awareness regarding the significance of EHS is very important. So definitely that rolling out awareness, informing them about the new regulations, changes, best practices is very crucial. And also that kind of like also lures in management and also the workforce on the ground. And I would say like leading by example, Gemba, walk the walk, but talk the talk. So being an example to the guys on the ground and also to management, practicing what you preach also does give a buy-in to the workforce mainly and also to management. Involving the employees in decision making. So whenever you're doing risk assessments, you have to involve them, get their inputs because they are the ones on sites doing the work. They have a more clear understanding what are the issues, what are the hazards, what are the risks they're facing. So definitely involving everyone from management and the workforce when you're conducting risk assessments, process improvements, new developments in the organization include the workforce. And also recognition and rewards also does motivate the workforce on the ground. So definitely that it does contribute a lot to the EHS agenda. Even for our organization, they're currently doing that, having a SHE incentive for our SHE reps. Whenever they do very well for that month or for that quarter, they do get recognized and they get an award for that. So definitely those pointers are very crucial. Because even we started I think last year the Gemba walk the walk talk the talk there's a high presence of management on the ground now. Your MD will be here, which is needed, eh?
Absolutely. Because if the guys at the top don't buy
Mm.
it, the employees will tell you that so this is only an employee initiative. Management sits there in their certain offices. Um, so definitely crucial. Because one of my guests, I think it was Mrs. Poshang, she had mentioned, we were discussing ISO 14 and ISO 5001. She had mentioned when you speak to management, also tell them what the financial benefits. This is now, for example, implementing ISO 14,000. Implementing ISO 14,000 has its own benefits, but it also assists in terms of things like getting fines, environmental fines for spillages. If you're better prepared to contain spills that either go into your storm waters, it actually assists you in terms of avoiding fines that you might get from the environmental affairs department.
True.
Although she said, speak about money. If you can focus on the financial benefits and the additional benefits also, your employer will definitely be will come on board. So
And they always do, hey? They always come on board.
if you speak about the chankura, yeah. In your opinion, no problem, which is the most important personality trait a person would need in order to succeed within the EHS industry?
Okay. So, in my opinion, one of the most important personality traits or strengths that someone would need to succeed in the EHS or environmental profession is the ability to be detail orientated. So, as an EHS professional, you are responsible for ensuring compliance with regulations, identifying potential hazards or impacts, and implementing appropriate environmental or health and safety measures. So, being detail orientated allows you to effectively analyze data and identify potential risk and implement proactive strategies to mitigate all those risks or hazards. So, additionally, paying attention to detail is crucial with conducting inspection, audits, and investigations. You have to ensure that all the aspects of environmental, health, and safety concerns are properly addressed. So, paying attention to detail is one of the crucial personal traits or strengths someone needs to have. Yeah, so definitely that paying attention to detail. And
And the smallest of mistakes, an extra zero or putting a comma in the wrong place, it completely changes, especially with
numbers.
numbers. So definitely detail orientated is
Oh, it's a huge issue.
could you educate us on ESG and why you feel it's crucial for employers to have a strategy on this agenda?
Okay. So ESG is a framework that helps stakeholders or organization understand how their organization is managing their risk and opportunities related to environmental, social, and governance factors. So over the years, there has been a huge increase in this ESG with all the organizations worldwide. So it's crucial for employers or to have the ESG strategy because it helps enhance their reputation and brand image. Firstly, companies that prioritize ESG factors are seen as socially responsible and trustworthy, and which can also attract top talent, customers, and investors who align with such values. And most organizations in the world now, they align with those values now. So, secondly, ESG strategy helps mitigate risk. And by actively managing environmental and social issues such as waste management, and electricity, scope 1 and scope 2, your fuels. So, having targets for each of these indicators also helps mitigate any environmental risks or issues. So, thirdly, ESG can drive innovation and long term growth, which is sustainability. It encourages companies to find sustainable solutions adopt new technologies, and identify emerging market opportunities. So by integrating ESG consideration into their business strategies, the employers can adapt changing consumer preferences and regulatory requirements. But it's also more on the lines of sustainability and also positioning themselves as an organization for success in the long run. So definitely that's ESG in a nutshell. As I mostly deal with the east side, the environmental side.
Yeah, yeah. Not for more. Thank you for breaking that down for us. Because I've seen I think I only started paying attention when I started following
Mm,
Formula One. And there's been a big drive around reducing carbon
Solutions.
emissions. Because load shedding has played a big role now. Because a lot of plants have installed generators,
Mm,
which has increased our carbon footprint.
Yes.
So, so yeah,
Yes.
I would say those in the community definitely read up on the 2030
The team.
sustainability goals. I know you had touched on this a bit before, and let's look at World Environmental Day. I know you yourself, with your current employer, recently had a campaign to celebrate the day.
Mm.
But for the community at large, what does the day mean for you, and how best should the community commemorate the day?
Okay, so World Environment Day is an important day to raise awareness about environmental issues and take actions to protect our planet. It's a time for us as organizations, as individuals, to come together and make a positive impact. For me, World Environment Day means reflecting on the state of the environment and understanding the urgent need for sustainable practices in our daily lives at home or here at work. So it is a reminder actually that we have a responsibility to protect and preserve our natural resources for future generations. So to commemorate this day, usually we do activities or events such as tree planting initiatives, beach cleanups, educational workshops in schools or here at work to give awareness to our workers also, but preferably also in schools for the young ones to educate them on what is this day all about. The aim is to engage people of all ages and backgrounds and also giving meaningful action to contribute to a healthy and more sustainable planet.
I think this happened last year. So our plan, we changed from plastic straws to paper straws. For me personally, I don't like
The paper.
the texture of the paper straws in my
Yeah.
mouth, but I understand the bandness behind it.
Yeah.
Expensive exercise, but the business took the initiative and
Wow.
actually went in that direction. And I think it's fortunate being a global organization, the business could afford to take that step.
True. Yeah. We have to start somewhere. Yeah.
I want us to have a look at the IOSH competency framework, which is a framework of 9 competency skills that those within the EHS industry would need in order to thrive. Right? Could you tell us from those 69, which are categorized in technical competencies, core competencies, and behavioral competencies, which skills resonate more with you as a professional in the industry?
Okay. So I basically chose the skills under the behavioral competency as I think as a HSC professional, they play a crucial role in fostering a positive relationship, influencing behavior, and some common behavioral competencies that I chose or skills that I chose was firstly communication. So communication plays a crucial role in the AHS field, ability to listen actively and express ideas and clearly, and also adapt to communication you're receiving. So definitely communication, being able to deliver communication and also to receive is crucial being an EHS professional. Secondly, leadership. As a leader in the organization, you in this capacity to inspire and motivate others So you provide guidance in terms of health and safety and environmental, and you influence behavior to create a positive safety or environmental culture. And thirdly, empathy. Empathy is quite crucial in the organization or any workplace. So the capability to understand and empathize with others' perspective and experiences, which helps in building trust and understanding concerns and resolving conflicts in the workplace. So definitely empathy is needed also. Fourthly, collaboration. I think the aptitude to work effectively with diverse teams and stakeholders and workforce fosters cooperation, and it encourages a collective approach to health and safety and environment. Uh, the fifth one will be problem solving. The skill to identify and analyze problems, think critically, and develop creative solutions to address any health and safety or environmental challenges is also needed. That skill is crucial. And I would think lastly will be decision making, the ability to make informed decisions based on the availability of information you have that you're getting, assess the risk and prioritize actions to ensure the safety and well-being of others is prioritized. Yeah, and oh yes, the last one, resilience. You have to have resilience. That's very important. The capacity to adapt to change, maintain composure, and in stressful situations and bounce back from setbacks or challenges is really needed. So we have to be resilient. If resilience is needed in this field.
That was an interview question. Definitely. Those in the community, with that combination of competencies, you'll definitely succeed within any
Organization,
organization
true.
that big group.
Especially the resilience part.
Especially that
Yeah,
last one.
because honestly, I've been telling my new boss that I've had like 6 managers. The changes have been happening. Yeah, have been crazy. At one point, I was like, I'm gonna lose my mind, and I'm like, no, keep composure, relax. It's not affecting you. And then yeah, so being resilient over the years has been yeah much needed.
You get thrown with so many
Hey,
challenges.
deep in the ocean.
That being, I don't know. Yep. Yep.
Deep in the ocean.
That being changes, legal changes within the workplace, your clients requirements changing, your employees, unions. I mean, it's the list can
It's
go on and on and
endless.
on. It's crazy, guys. What's the word? I don't know if it's in a word. Bounce back ability.
Bounce back ability. It's a new word. It's a new
They knock you
terminology.
down, you need to get out. And of course, within any career, there'll be days where you feel like, you know what, I can't take this. I can't take this. Oh, but then you need to get over it. It's a challenge that you need to face that will help you grow personally and from a professional perspective.
True.
So EHS is definitely not for the
True.
faint-hearted.
Not.
But I love that answer. I love you. So guys, one of the things I'll do is I'll drop a link in the chat that will take you to the competency module. It's a model that shows you the 69 skills that IOSH has listed in order to be successful within the EHS field. As much as they call it the OSH field, which is occupational safety and health. So I'll drop the link, have a look at those 9 skills. Definitely worth the read. So Noxolo, so the reason I asked this question is, so I grew up in BE, moved to Joburg, started working in Joburg, also worked in the Western Cape. And I remember my mother at one point, she was like, oh no, my aunt, I think it was my aunt. I had a discussion with my aunt. She's like, oh, I hear you a security officer in Joburg. And I'm like, what? I'm a security guard in Joburg. So I explained to her the whole basis between health and safety, but her understanding was more security guard. Which goes to show you that if I had said I was an accountant, it would have been easier to grasp. So yeah, this is the whole point. I'm asking you this question just to understand how your family looks at your role as a whole in the entire industry.
Mm.
So could you describe for us what your family thinks you do in their words?
Uh, I think each and every person in that household has a different perspective of what I do. Cause okay, firstly with my grandmother, I think she thinks I'm a manager. Because sometimes I rock up in formal, but then she gets confused when I'm wearing overalls. So she's always like, "Hey, are you going on sites? Are you sure?" And then with my aunt, because at one point I stayed with her when I was in varsity. She used to see what I was studying. So at one point she saw a lot of geology workbooks. So in her mind, she thinks I'm a geologist, but I'm not working at the mine. Oh yeah, and the rest of my family, I think they know a bit about safety, so they think I'm a safety officer. So each and every person has a different perspective of what I'm doing. Because I think even my uncle,
Sure.
because when I was at Transnet, he said that I'm working as a logistic officer or clerk because I'm in logistics. So literally, everyone has a different perspective of what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely need to educate, starting within our
Mm,
families.
which is very true.
So, Nakelo, for those that are starting out in our field or have heard of what we do, what is the one piece of advice you give to someone who wants to be where you currently are? Someone who would want to emulate Noxolo Msiya.
Mm. I'll definitely say never limit yourself. Never let your background limit your future. Instead, your background should motivate you. Always take chances. Believe in yourself. That's one thing I think my grandparents fostered in me is that believe in myself, take risks, take chances, and yeah, your world is your oyster. Believe in yourself, definitely. And your background should always be your motivation. Where you come from, it was my daily motivation. Waking up, going to school, going to varsity, going to work in Joburg alone, in a new city with no family. That was my motivation every day to know I'm doing this for myself and my family. I want to see them in a better place. I want to see myself in a better place. So that every day motivated me. So your background should always motivate you. Where you come from should always motivate you. Your situation always should motivate you. So definitely that. And take risks. Believe in yourself. Definitely those very key.
I love it.
Mm.
The best piece of advice. The best piece of advice. Noxolo, as she had stated earlier, grew up in Kwamashu. Look where she is now, doing big things. Um, so, guys, definitely, great piece of advice there. Me, young guy from Esri, they grew up in Sweden Township in Port Elizabeth, which is more famously known for this. So you are not where you come from. As Nakone correctly stated, your background should actually motivate you because seeing the high level of crime, high levels of unemployment should actually motivate to take yourself and your family out of that situation. So definitely, I love that piece of advice. Nakolo, could you tell the EHS community, those that want to follow you on socials, how do they get a hold of you? The net either being for inspiration or maybe they're looking for career advice from you. How can the community get a hold of you on the socials?
Okay, so I am on LinkedIn as Noxolo Msiya. I'm also on Instagram as Noxy Msiya. And also Facebook as Noxy Msiya. So I'm on those three platforms. LinkedIn as Noxolo Msiya, and Facebook and Instagram as Noxy Msiya. So definitely on those. Thanks a lot, Ditema, for the opportunity. It really means a lot, honestly, because I don't think for us in this field we have such platforms also to inspire others also. So definitely thank you. Nkosi kubus-
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My whole base is behind starting this one. was I remembered when I started off in the history, when I would go on these NOSA courses, you'd be doing a risk assessment course at NOSA. I'm a junior at that time. You're sitting in that course with the health and safety manager from Transnet, for example. This guy is way more experienced. So I'd expose myself and go and actually have chats during their biscuit breaks or tea breaks and lunch. Actually sit with these more experienced professionals and try to understand how does one succeed within our. So online, definitely there was nothing of it. So that's the whole basis behind starting this platform, to assist those that are starting off in the field and make it a lot easier for them, and to educate those that might not be privy to our ins and outs within the industry. But thank you again, Gabe.
Thank you. Have a great afternoon.
You too then.